I know that this was chaotic, unexpected, and very tragic events, what was happening in August in Afghanistan. At the same time, I think that now is the time what we can do to those people who are stuck back home in Afghanistan, who deserve to be evacuated, but also to those thousands of people being evacuated by the British government in August this year. And they are still living in the bridging hotels. The local authorities, they are struggling to cope, as well as how they can find the right accommodation to the huge number of people who arrive in the UK in August. So now this is the time how we can reduce the isolation of those people and give them the opportunities to integrate into the British society, access the services, access education, access the health services, as well as enjoy their life and build a better future for themselves and for their families.
Is it your opinion that there's probably a real risk when applications were not being expedited or processed in a timely fashion, that people who really deserved our help, because we dragged them into a conflict and dragged them onto our side, knowing down the line if there was a change of regime that they would be in the firing line and their lives would be at risk, do you think that there are people who will have actually been killed as a result of the chaos that was that evacuation?
I think Great Britain was the first country which evacuated thousands of people after the crisis started in Afghanistan. But at the same time, we have to understand the complexity of the situation in terms of security in Afghanistan. If you remember, there was a serious explosion in Kabul airport after 2 weeks evacuation of the thousands of people which evacuated by Britain. But at the same time, I think that the British government number of times, including the Prime Minister recently in the House of Parliament, emphasized once again that the British government will evacuate another 20,000 in the near future. And everyone is now waiting for the new scheme will be introduced by the Home Office.
There were some criticisms levelled against that operation, that staff at the Foreign Office, who should have been doing the paperwork and processing the applications, were working from home, not keeping up with their mandates, and refused to do any overtime. Does that surprise you, considering that there were people's lives on the line during that period?
I think now is the time that the government should pay more attention to the grassroots organization, such as, for example, the Afghanistan and Central Asian Association, who is tirelessly working very, very hard. If you remember, during August, during the crisis in Afghanistan, the Afghanistan and Central Asian Association in Feltham became similar like Kabul airport. Thousands of people from 5 a.m. were queuing to get some advice and support how they can evacuate their family members back from Afghanistan to the UK. At the same time, we distributed huge amount of donation to thousands of new arrived people in the UK. So now there is a very important time for the government and the Home Office, how they can work closely with the grassroots organizations where we can tackle the problems faced by the new arrived people.